Interesting. Oops, what's going on? Why am I getting this up there? I was working on the search index stuff, getting it working in the multi-document thingy. Multi-doc, add file. Wow, look at that, 137,000 results. But that's crazy. 8 seconds to search, even with the search index. Let's turn the search index off and see how long that takes. I don't know. Do we start? Let's turn the search index off. So annoying. Maybe I should fix that. Okay, so that 8-second search with the search, without the search index now. Just try again. 8 seconds. Damn, surely we can speed that up. There are ways to speed it up. The search index could be a bit more refined. It's not very refined, it just says which entries. It's got a list of entries containing that, but it doesn't. Isn't that all we need? But it doesn't yet. It's still pretty slow down, but 8 seconds. Let's see how fast it is without the. Okay, it was much quicker to add because it didn't generate the index. 137,000 results. It's actually faster without the index. Oh no, that doesn't make sense. Something isn't right. Index search, and number of searches, number of results looks the same. So I'm going to need to be able to toggle the index on and off. There might be a problem with the way I do it, actually. Might not be quite right, I'm just thinking. There it actually uses the search index. Yeah. This could be slow if not contains. That is not really a good way to do it. Let's time this part to see if it's slow. wonder how many times this gets called. Just once. That's another thing we should check for. Because there was to get called once per document. You know what I must do? I know what I must do. I must let it I must literally just search with and without the index. That'll be easy to do. So I enable the index, but and do term entry search. Yeah, but it is this. No, where it calls this. Yeah. But we then need to. That thing was pretty terrible. Let me just see. I think in this function, yeah, what I can do is just call it with and then immediately again call it without. Just for timing, okay? Do something like this, but then we need a. And you can even just loop it a few times. And then we need a throwaway vector of matches, because we don't want to pass that vector of matches in. And over here, we just pass null instead of the index. So we just do that and say stop up shorter and search for the index. Couple of milliseconds. and search without index. So I'm just trying to run some timings with and without the index. Filter must be the same, options is the same, search context is the same. The only difference is that we don't pass the search indexing. So we build the search index, but then we repeat the search a few times in a little loop, with and without the index. Just to log. Try and make a batch file for the shortcut to pop open tail in the log. I have one somewhere. That file. That file. Right, so where was I? I had this thing, so search. Yeah, like we'll use, every now and then I'll do something Win32 specific. Very, you know, like maybe something to do with the DPI Windows stuff or something. But yeah, WX widgets, it's extensively cross-platform. Maybe not as much as Qt. Yeah, like it's not supported as well on Android, I don't think. Not sure about Android. Yeah, it's not going to build on like Android anytime soon. Um, uh, the whole UI would probably need to be rethought if we did an Android version. Yeah, I've been working a lot recently on the integrated. Yeah, it's kind of like you could almost think of it as like, yeah, Google Docs type setup. No, I mean RPC. Like, let me show you what I mean. Like, if I go, let me see if it's working. I'm not sure if it's working. I think I'll just have to rebuild TL corpus to get it working. So yeah, like let's our applications talk to each other. So I'll show you quickly so TLEX itself. So yeah, like in this TL server.cpp. So it uses, yeah, it's got basically an integrated HTTP server. So it launches a HTTP server. It listens on a port, and one of the sub URLs on the port it listens to has a JSON RPC API interface. So you can send it commands. You can even use like curl or wget on the command line or a browser to talk to the application. The application becomes a web server. It has a built-in web server. But that web server then I also use for talking to, here we go, the TL corpus interface. So it's got a sort of remote procedure call mechanism where one of the applications, where the two applications can, so one of our other applications, like TL corpus, so clients often use both applications together, TL corpus and TLEX. If you're building a dictionary or a terminology list, you'll use like both the applications. And so this more tightly integrates the two because TLEX can listen, or TL term will listen on I'll show you now, it's actually very cool. As soon as it builds, there we go. So it's got a remote procedure call mechanism. I can run, let me just, yeah, for the HTTP I use a library called Popo. It's not that well known, but it works quite well. Yeah, and then Boost for the JSON RPC stuff. Boost property trees, which are pretty gross. Boost property trees for JSON RPC stuff. Basically, I'm not mad about it. I may change that. Yeah, don't work on VS 2010, that's the problem. Yeah, basically, so if I've got this application open here, then I can say tools launch TL corpus linked, and then what it does is it actually, yeah, so the TL term, see that says server running in the bottom right. It's listening on a port, link mode enabled, it says in the title. Alright, so in linked mode you can do things then like, what do we do again? We can say, so I can search my corpus for a word like test, and if I want to add that to, I can right click on, I can right click on a word like troublesome, and I can say link mode, commands for troublesome, insert as a new entry in TL term. So these are two separate applications, but they're linked using so this one is listening on a HTTP port with a JSON RPC API, and TL corpus is linked directly to it, accessing it as the client, or the other way around. No, that way around, yeah. And I right click on a word and I can say insert as a new entry, linked mode, and boom, it'll automatically add that entry. So TL corpus, this application, so it's RPC, inter-process communication. It's using the integrated server as a form of inter-process communication. is to add a functionality for the end user so that they can do things like this. Right click on the word and say add it in TL term. Boom. And there. Adds it as a new entry in TL term. It's very cool actually. There's a lot of other functionality I want to add. And it works both ways. There's functionality if I stand on a word like tester. So I stand on the word tester here, so I should be able to say search in TL corpus linked mode, and it sends a command back to TL corpus to run a search in the corpus for the word tester. And there's our search for the word tester. So they're integrated bidirectionally, basically. And they become like one application almost, even though they're running as two separate applications. What's really cool about it is the architecture would allow me to run these two on different computers. So because it's just a HTTP server listening on a port, this TL corpus could be running on a different computer. And I could be controlling TLEX from TL corpus, or vice versa, from two different computers. Yeah, there's a whole lot of other things. Yeah, there's a whole lot of other things I'm doing with it. But yeah, that's the basic principle. And the same server, I'm also adding a whole new multi-user thing where multiple clients can connect to a TL term or TLEX server or TL database server using TL database also. So TLEX or TL term can become a client to another TLEX and TL term. Yeah, so I'm also thinking, like, if a client wants help with something, I'm thinking I could build in things like, I could kind of get access to the thing. Like they could say, all right, click a button, and it listens on a pod. I could maybe access their system and do some support or check out their database. I don't know. I'm still thinking about that. It's just ideas I'm thinking about, but. And the thing with TL database, you can create it. The whole thing is very customizable. So you can create a database of anything. You could have a database of, stock prices or. So you can easily create your own JSON RPC server with this software. You can just use the customizable DTD to add whatever fields you want for whatever type of database you want, and then say tools start server, and you have your, you can have your own web API server. It's very neat. It's very powerful. There's a lot of I'll just close that. So yeah, this is, you can see the server logs that it sends the commands as JSON RPC and the results. Yeah, I'm not mad about JSON, but it's nice for some things, but it's it's nice and quick and convenient for simpler types of data. And what's nice about it is you can integrate with, it's really easy to unpack and unpack on, like XML. XML is better, but yeah, it's very useful for that sort of thing. for exactly that sort of thing. So it's not as powerful maybe as XML, but yeah, it's very quick and convenient. In JavaScript and PHP, you just have helper functions that are really easy to use. Encode, decode, really easy. C++ is a different story. It's not, it's not. But yeah, it's nice. It's readable. Yeah. Yeah. The other main alternative is XML, of course. JSON is like a simpler, cleaner XML, basically, in a way. I use binary now and then for some things in our new server stuff, but mainly, partly for speed reasons. But yeah, it's also yeah, it's just simpler for some things because I already had code to put, to encode entries, for example, in binary format. But so both. Short answer. Yeah, short answer is both. So if a client wants their data in PostgreSQL, or MySQL or Oracle or SQL Server, they can do that. And then multi-use also works. So we've designed the architecture in such a way that the client can choose. So if they're not using multi-user, then you know they don't need. Well, this is more of an in-memory index. It's not to you know, it's not a database. It's not quite a database index. It's like an in-memory in-memory data search index of the XML document tree of the DOM, the data in the DOM. That is really slow. That is inefficient. Okay, that is a target for further speed up. List of entries. Search without index, build list of entries to. That doesn't make sense. That should be really fast. I search with index, build list of entries. No. Oh, I see. Search without index, build list of entries. Alright. So that is good news. That 7 seconds is good news. Thanks. That is good news, because of that 8 seconds, it means that most of it is, at least I think it's good news, most of it is just, I can probably this. Test speed. Yeah. Okay, now we only have the main document, not MDM. Search with index, build list of entries to. That index, the build list of entries should be virtually instantaneous. Should be like search without index, build list. Yeah, 0 milliseconds. That's what I thought. That's what we expect. So search without index took about half a second for that. Search with index, that's not right. It's taking slower with a search index. But search without index took half a second. Search with index, search without. Search. It's about 8 seconds. 7. It's about 500 milliseconds for the actual searching. So the actual search is about 500 milliseconds, I think. I don't know, wait. But then, so this is garbage, this line of code. What we really just need is something like a set of entries and then this should be replaced with, but actually, since that is a set of entries we're iterating, basically I want to insert, again, I want to insert, is this the fastest way? No. So instead of doing that, do that. Just need whole set. Basically I want to merge the sets. Fastest way to merge sets, C++. Or intersect the sets, merge multiple sets. That might, I don't know if that's faster or not. Anyway, I suspect that's going to be very fast already, but I need to make a change now. Also, yeah, set of entries. Okay, then we need to iterate that set. The const iterator. The reason, yeah, this will change the the results. This will change the order of results. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I don't know. I don't know if the client, but fastest, the speed is more important, I think. The speed issues. Make interest of pushback. I wonder. Okay. I want to see. This should be really fast, but I just want to confirm that by logging. Of course, now this timer includes that log, and logging is quite a slow thing, but it should be in the order of milliseconds. It's also a SSD, so it should be fast. Anyway, right. Multi-document smart step. Done. Look at the difference. 7 seconds down to. We don't know the results are correct, because why are there only 8 results now? That doesn't make sense. check. Begin, end. I mean, that's the thing. The index. Why? I mean, that doesn't make sense. 8 results. Does it? H3. Duh. Hold it only. 128,000 entries. Found 128,000 matches in. You know why it doesn't make sense? Oh, you know why we're getting such a different result? Because this. Actually, that's a good question. I don't know. Where is this? Let's look at the fields breakdown. German XML lang. It's searching the XML lang field. And here it's not, which it shouldn't. That's really silly. Of course, German is DE. And every single German node has an XML lang that says it's DE. Yeah, we don't want to search we don't want to search that field. So we shouldn't be indexing the XML lang field in the search indexes. That's problem 1 for these speed problems. I still don't understand though why do we only get 8 results here? Oh, because this narrows it. Every entry has a DE. Yeah. Okay, now I understand. Yeah. So now we're getting about the same speed with and without the index, slightly slower with the index, and it makes sense now because every single entry has a German element, which has an XML lang field with DE value. So the search for DE. The search index pre-filter is throwing out a list that contains every entry in the base, which is silly. So yeah, so it ends up searching every entry anyway. So it's a special No, it's not. It's not going to. No. I don't know if you follow what I mean. It's really simple for me to check that. I've already got a helper. I've already got a helper is XML lang or something. XML lang. To get XML lang. Some helpers. Get XML lang after. So the thing that generates the index, basically. Generate index, okay. So the generate index function iterates through every entry and iterates through every element, right? So right here, we do this. XML lang, okay. So then here we say if get attribute I is the XML lang attributes, then just don't index it. Don't index XML lang attributes. I'm trying to think if the user might ever legitimately. I mean, I don't think it's going to happen really. Alright, let's check the difference now. So we have 120,000 entries in this database. It's a test database. Only 8 of them actually have "the" in them. But every single one has a German element. So there's 120,000 German elements, of which every single German element has an XML lang attribute that has a value of DE. It's a fixed value. In fact, we probably shouldn't index any fixed value. Or should we? I don't know. Well, that's debatable. But later we might want to give options to the user and to give them more control over how the search index is generated. But this should, this should solve. So we do "the," and now, just turn that off. "The." And now it's super fast. There we go. Brilliant. Look at that. So the search with index, it was taking half a second. Now it takes 0 milliseconds, as in it's not even measuring. Whereas search without index takes half a second. So searching for "the," which was taking half a second, now it takes 0, nothing. Like less than 1 millisecond or 1 millisecond. So it takes, under a millisecond now to search for "the." But why does it say 1395 over there? Oh, because that timing is including, that's the wrong timing now. That timing is including my extra test timings that I added of these search without index to compare. So now it's always faster, even if you're searching. But now here's a language that genuinely has a lot of "does." And this database has 300,000 entries, 360,000 entries. And I think "the" is an actual word in Portuguese. So this one has a lot of actual dis. So I'm very interested now just to compare the. Actually, we should close this doc now, so that I'm going to close this document and then search just in that document. That's interesting. So build this image like 48 milliseconds. That's reasonable now. Search with index took 871 milliseconds. Without index took 1.8. Okay. So it's not as fast as I would like, but there's literally 100. I mean that is reasonable considering it's returning 137,000, nearly 138,000 legitimate results with the in them. These are actual just appearance of the word duh. So 360,000 entries, the word duh appears 137,000 times. And search and the index search is still faster. That other change I made should slightly speed up the generate index as well. Get loaded tags, graph generate index. Sure, but it's still not fast. It takes a long time to generate the index. But I have some ideas to help with that. Like, I want to put it in a background thread, basically. And the other thing I can do to make that faster is to have like a local cache, a local disk cache of the search index. I like to store the cached version of the search index somewhere. Then instead of generating it every single time, it could sort of cache, just have a little quick to load cached version of the alright, so it shows 1,000 results at a time. There's no pagination of results, so I need to add that. That looks much better. Okay, I'm happy with that. I just want to see if I can just commit that one change, or if it's going to be tangled web of changes to commit. This unfortunately will result in. Actually, no, it doesn't make a difference. Never mind. Oh, no, it's a tangled web of changes, damn it. I wanted to commit just that one speed fix. I could do it in a VM, but let me just delete that one. I wanted to just commit this because I want to add it to the real builds. It might be interesting. I want to take this database, this Portuguese one with 360,000 entries. This is actually directional lang. That could probably be sped up. Yeah, there are things there. There are quite a few things there I could probably optimize. To display a string. Do a simulator. Let's end it. I should add a version of this function that takes a string as a reference instead of returning also. Anyway, what I want to do, I want to export this database as text or something and load it into our corpus. And then just generate a word list. I want to see what are the most common words in your duh, maybe one of them. Come on, finish up. There you go. Generate a word list. Huh? Actually, it's because there's only one text. So the previous dialogue is like boom. One huge text. How big it is? It's not that big, 18 meg. Anyway, so things like that life sci will be indexed, which is a bit weird. It's not wrong. Life sci. And that user, I think we can add it to the search index. Even though we could probably trim the size of the search index substantially by not having it. Yeah, so 6 milliseconds with a search index, nearly 2 seconds without it. Six milliseconds is well within acceptable search speed. There we go. N. Da and of. N. I'm wondering, why is there? Is it apostrophe N or something? N. Seems weird. Oh, I've got some other flag here. Y and N, that's probably, yeah. Oh, this could be noun. Noun, maybe. And noun, I guess. not really the argument ideas. Oh, it is a yes/no field. Okay. Confirmed. It's some sort of status here. So I don't know if that should be in the index or not. Anyway, this is more or less what the index is going to look like. It's going to be an n thing with, 387,000. I mean, it's going to take a lot of space in the index. Are they going to search for n? I doubt it. Anyway, seems silly to index that field. What about E? I mean, what is that even? It seems slow, but that's because I've got an extra loop inside there that's doing 6 searches with and without the index. With, without. That's why it seems so slow. Anyway, 8317, 8317, 818. Okay, E is a Portuguese word. Obviously a common word. Right. So we search for E, which is a common word in Portuguese, and it's 83 milliseconds. I think that's reasonable. That's well within reasonable, for something like that with that many results. And the world list of entries took only 1 millisecond. This extra copy, I don't like it. And this conversion, it could slightly speed up the search index if I anyway. I don't think that's the slowest part of it though. That seems silly and pointless, that comparison, because this for loop is just not gonna, yeah, that's really pointless. I wonder if the optimizing compiler realized that's pointless. Anyway, that's a very good question. Okay. Is it pointless? Any good one? Yeah. Definitely. I want to check something else. Does I want to see if Microsoft have done this now by now. This makes me want to slap people. Idiots. Let me not even rant about that. Profile turns don't like. You know what? Sometimes I just know that something is unlikely or likely, and you can easily use that information. But no. Hi, programmers. Hi, programmers. Programmers. Anyway, they will need to be slapped. Alright. Nothing wrong with profile guided optimizations, but sometimes I just know in my code that some branch is unlikely. Anyway, let's check. Profile guided optimizations, branch hints. So this looks interesting. I'm going to look at this later, not now. So they basically know they don't have it, and they didn't do it. Interesting example here. What annoys me about the profile guided optimizer, or the answer of not adding it, is like I feel like stop trying to be clever and give the developer control over it. There's nothing worse than a clever programmer. The programmer trying to be clever is always stupid. Right, so these two, the do of the. Alright, let's take out those test loops that I added there. Actually, do I want them? Maybe I do want them. Because I'm still busy testing this stuff. I want to commit, so that's the much I don't want there right now. The reason I don't edit in the diff tool is I'm a bit nervous about, I have a feeling like it may introduce, I know you can edit in the diff tool, and the reason I don't is I have a feeling it may introduce incorrect new lines. That's the reason I'm not editing in diff. I have a feeling like, because sometimes I get those warnings about the new lines being wrong, and I don't know if it's because I edited in the diff tool and the diff tool is maybe doing that. Anyway, I'm going to comment it out because I may want to put it back. So this was horrible. That was a very inefficient. So this should actually help. That's this is a bit pointless now. It's not really pointless, but it's not too slow. I don't know. It may become an issue with you if we had like 1,000,000 entries. It might start becoming slow. Bit of code. If it does investigate the refactoring, entry search list, it was iterate over the set. Instead of this actually unnecessary convert set vector into vector. But I don't think that's, yeah, it's a good question. It may be let me put a, should be split up here. That, I guess that should probably be done anyway. Alright. SB zooming should be split up. As anyway last including yeah. Because that's the only reason I had the vector, was to try to preserve entry ordering, that the set loses. But I have to lose the entry ordering anyway, so, and I don't lose the entry ordering in a non-index search, but in a non-index search, I mean, we don't want to ever do a non-index search, to be honest, so I don't lose the entry ordering in the code path that I never want to use. So this should just be a iteration over the set, and this shouldn't exist. I'm not ready to give up on it just yet, but anyway, but that's such a small part, like 380,000 entry database. That thing is like a few milliseconds, it's, or 50 milliseconds or something. So if we had a database with 10 million entries, or 100 million entries even, then we can look again where the bottlenecks are in that use case. This also want to add XML. I've heard about XML then. I'm curious this sort of stuff. Everyone once per document. Not re-get it. Pre-bold, C Aug, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that's not going to do that now. The compiler should be smart enough. Actually, I don't know if it is. I don't know, maybe slightly faster. Or maybe slightly slower. I don't know. Do this. Because that's the result call. I don't know. Anyway, we have to. And this stuff is another story. Searching into those views is probably wrong fixing. I can actually commit that, but I need to come back to it. So that is a fix, it's a definite fix. But yeah. I wish I could add a thing that just spit out the date. Maybe I should set up some quick macro to spit out current date with DJ in front of it. Anyway, alright, blah blah blah. Correct. So that's, yeah. Now we can just call that search index. Alright. That's definitely not a fast thing to do, so I think we should actually do that, but it's a bit tricky because of the recursion. We need a sort of a... It's not tricky, it's just probably need a member of sets. Potential allowing that to... It's definitely not fast to do that. It's a much faster way to do this. If we do it once per document, anyway, and we just build a set. Even whether or not to include the attributes could just be a set or something. And instead of iterating over the elements attributes, iterate over the set and have a map of sets from elements to the attributes that we actually should index for that. Should in theory be slightly faster. Anyway, that's not going to do now. Okay, we can commit that, I think. This thing I realized earlier has a small issue with. Anyway, if we display it, oh, it's right. It's right. Okay. Maybe I'm being paranoid about the new lines. Manager. Okay, but we also want to do speed up searches other than FMEG. That's not right. I first I want to build new builds based on changes. This must be common. Actually, we can just leave that in. You know what? But we can put it at the bottom of this page, I think. Whoops, is that right? Technically this is not right, but I just want to commit this stuff. There's like so many things. Can I just please commit already? Let me commit. Snap timing is too much time there. Okay, so I don't know if we want to start putting the search index stuff in the beta build already. Why not? So I think it can be added to the beta build, but probably not. Yeah, no, let's start first with the alpha build. I think that'll do for a commit. This is equivalent to insert index and basic Indian send-up searches. Right, that's a commit. Done. I want to build new builds of that for the end users. Actually, new builds must happen on this machine. There's several important fixes in there that I want the clients, the end user clients, to have. And I'll do. I need another coffee. I want another coffee. That we did. That it's not very much right now. It looks like there's other than tail thread. That's kind of important. I'm not sure even how to do that, to be honest, because what do you regard as the unit of good question. The TMX document is probably a little bit more straightforward. TMX. So if we're at TMX, then we want to index, I guess, each translation unit. Simple. Oh, we need to add indexing of this. some of these TMX files can get pretty big. For example, this is a TBX, sorry. This TBX is 2 gig. It's big. It's really big. I don't even know if it'll import or if it'll just crash. That is an open question. What I should probably do is remove all the silly white space to begin with. Replace space with nothing. Regular expressions. Okay, I'm just going to let that do its thing. Right. Let's fix it. I actually want to add. I want to do enabled for clients. Just want to send an email quickly. So I'm just gonna have to turn off the display to open my email. Airport. No, I'm not at the airport. Wait, let me turn that off. I put that when I was at the airport the other day and I forgot to turn it off. Airport. People are gonna wonder what the hell. Okay. Cubsy art. I wonder what Cubsy art does. Art, I guess. What sort of art? Right. I don't know very well. I may be remembering wrong. My memory is a bit vague now. But I seem to remember, or wasn't it you? Maybe somebody else. Anyway. Might have been someone else. Some vitamin D. Oops. Vitamins. Maybe it's yeah. I think I'm remembering wrong. I was in a stream and somebody was talking about their game project, and then somebody else wanted to join the other game project. But I don't remember who. I thought maybe it was you, but now I think maybe I'm remembering wrong. Okay. CTL database builds, ETL reader. Let's checking the stuff all builds. That one we're just gonna do another. There, that's what I was looking for. Accelerate by discarding undue information. For sure. Trust so. Getting stuff for free is not a good approach in life. Everywhere you look, programmers are working for free. And it actually annoys me. Like, even these game jams or whatever, these competitions, and I guess if you get near the top, you can showcase your skills, but really, it's like, it's a lot of work. Just think of all the development hours being put in cumulatively by all these programmers, and they're all just like, hey, yeah, let's just do this for free. Let's just, give it up for free. It's like, no. It cheapens I don't know, it somehow just cheapens the whole skill set market for everyone. It's bad enough, the whole situation with apps. That's, it's already a mess, the whole industry, because of Play Stores and App Stores. App Stores have been absolutely terrible for the software industry. It's already bad enough, thanks to that. Anyway. I'll pay for it if it's good. Yeah, but I'm being a bit of a hypocrite because I made a pretty big, I made some free games obviously, but I won't do it again. It was in hindsight a mistake. Okay, that builds. Let's build reader. I won't start a big free game project again. Maybe small things like little puzzle games, like a little soccer barn or whatever. That's fine. Weekend project, but even that I don't think should be done for free, actually, to be honest. But oh, gig, wow. think I can understand that from a programming perspective. But it might be nice if I was working on a game. I might want somebody else to do like the graphics. Okay, variables. So reset that. But it's really difficult. I mean, you can't find good artists. It's not, well, you can, but it's not, you know, you're not going to find good, it's difficult to find good artists who have spare time to do graphics. Probably better. Alpha. That's fine. It's 100%. That's fine. That's no, it's okay. Yeah. That's fine. Okay, the basic entry saving stuff. I don't want to commit just yet. I probably could. I just want to go over it before I commit it. But now I'm going to do, never mind the commits. I want to start a real build. Builds 26. Oh. Let's kick up the fan boost in case we get hot to keep it cool. Yeah, look, we're getting pretty hot. Why are we getting so hot? Shouldn't even be doing anything. Something is using too much CPU. Firefox, why is Firefox open? I mean, it just, yeah, just. Oh, image is also eating CPU because of this. Windows 2164 Alpha. Open and close. Then this is a laptop that I'm that's, I travel a lot. I'm always all over the place. So I know it costs more, but 2164 we already got, so this must be, well, 2165 at least. I'm not very original with computer names. This one actually shut down. Why is Edge using so much CPU? Look at this. What? That's like a full core just to this web page. Could be the web page itself, not Edge that's at fault there. Probably the web page. Man, the web is horrible with ads. I'm so used to using an ad blocker. Every now and then, if I use if I access the internet without an ad blocker, I'm like, holy cow, is this how bad the internet is for normal people? You don't use ad blockers. Right, file size, blah blah blah. Yeah, OBS 6.9%, 7%. A core, that's it's 4 cores, 8 threads. Or is it just 4 cores, 8 threads? CPU. So that's like nearly a full core, even though it doesn't sound that much. But it's this Watch Me Work. I don't know if it's Watch Me Work or YouTube. But if I have a Watch Me Work open, it takes quite a lot of CPU. I'll see if pausing some of these maybe speeds it up. I don't know. It just fell. Well, drawing fell off the wall, I see. OBS, maybe half a core. Restricted temps. We haven't did thermal throttling, so that's a good sign. In spite of the fairly hot max temperature there, 76 is still okay. This 80 is a bit high. The laptop's getting a little bit hot for my liking. I don't know if I must open it up and try blow dust out or try reseat some of the to redo the power, what do you call it, cooling thingy, thermal paste. Because I could start smelling it's getting hot. Like, I don't know. I can smell when the damn laptop's getting too hot. I've set down the core voltage offset, and that helps. But kicking up the fan boost helps, but those are workarounds if the problem is dust or thermal paste. I mean, it's well within range. I mean, it's compiling 60 degrees and it's building, these applications. That's not bad. There's nothing wrong with that. But that should be the temperature without the core voltage offset, one would think, or kicking up the fan boost. I should maybe be in that temperature range. I don't know though. I'm not actually sure because anyway. Anyway, I'm just waiting for the build now. So what can I do while this thing builds? That thing on the background has to be killed. That's for the naked pictures. Okay, how long? So you need to close something. Desktop display off. There we go. Yeah, so scary. I haven't actually worked with but yeah, I can try E4 menu. Yeah, I can try to figure it out just from the error message. Skype just will not stop nagging. It's so annoying. I do not want the new damn Skype. That's crap. Skype nags me every day to install a junk thing that doesn't support the features I need. Anyway, it shows different errors each time. Um, It could really be a lot of things. It's impossible to say without seeing specifics. It could. I'm just thinking of link error. If it compiles, then you're talking about a link error, or it's difficult to say without looking at specifics. One really has to look at the exact specific messages and the specific library and the specific situation, the specific build setup. It could be anything from include directory issues to preprocessor setting issues to version project or SDK selection, version selection settings. It could be so many things. So you have to look at the exact situation and just figure it out. And between Google and trying to and it's sometimes really not obvious. Like I got a lot of errors compiling this new project on Visual Studio 2017, and I mean, you dig in and eventually, and there's no connection between the solution and the error message. In the solution turns out you have to undefine some WinVer preprocessor setting. There's no. It's really specific to every situation is different. The whole C++ build environment is like, I don't know, it's like pasted together with Prestick and chicken wire type of thing. I'm surprised anything builds in C++. It's like everything's just cobbled together in this hodgepodge way. Sometimes a rebuild all helps. That's all I can. That's all I can generally say. Sometimes you can do a rebuild all, and the problem will go away. But more often than not, it's something that has to be figured out. I remember having issues also, pains with OpenGL errors, and I tried to use macros from OpenGL not too long ago, and I ended up editing the header files, like I literally edited header files in the SDK that I wasn't supposed to get my application to build. So sometimes you have to do hacky things like that. Anyway, it's not the first time I've done that. It's not a good solution, but I mean, yeah, one can't say this generally. One has to look at what the error message is and where it's occurring, and if it compiles but doesn't build, then it's probably a linker error. And if it's a linker error, then also, yeah, the solutions are going to be different. C++, and you know, it doesn't get easier. It's like I've been doing C++ for 25 years, and 20 years, and 22, 23 years, and you know, you start out learning C++, and like, your program doesn't compile some arbitrary, even though it's exactly by the book, you're getting some weird header errors or something, you know. You think that after a few years of experience it's going to get better, but 20 years later you're still sitting there trying to compile a basic application and you're getting stupid header errors. It just never gets better. Look, you're building more complex applications, obviously, but it never reaches a point. I know they're trying to work on this, like this new module stuff they're building into the new C++. It's supposed to help solve some of these things. I think it's still a bit fresh. C++ modules. I have no idea. You know, the way, if I think about C++ libraries as I know them, I don't even know how this is going to work. But it'll be interesting to see. What's vague to me is how this will work without huge cross-platform pains. Because a lot of the cross-platform issues are dealt with in this hodgepodge header file system. Anyway. I'm just talking nonsense now because I'm just waiting for these applications to build. Anyway, so I'm just reading up a bit on these. Hmm. Hmm. I mean, I can't even picture this. Every single library we use would have to be rewritten extensively in a way that, yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me exactly. Like, guaranteed export insights can't even do that because of the cross-platform and all these. There's so much of hierarchy and it's, what's bothers me about this is sometimes, in Linux or whatever, you don't even have a version of library this or library that. You may have to, different things may have to compile against different versions in different folders and different forks or different. Anyway, this one, global concentration of all systems during preprocessor to know certain bullets, etc. Let's see. There we go, model's done. Interesting, I'll just assume the gender. I thought it's a man writing. Anyway. Yeah, I agree with all this. I don't know. I'm tired of these, the amateurish I don't know. It's like everything is run by amateurs and like it never changes. Right, so those new builds are built. Let's I want to upload them. Right, I think I'm going to pause the stream a bit so I can finish to upload these builds. I guess, I don't know. Oh yeah, I must.